Good evening! Welcome to Tweed Up, where we take video games, music, movies, and more way too seriously. I'm Neil, this is Zac, and today we're talking about the 1990 film classic, Robot Jox.
Robot Jox! It's got mechs!
Alright, Robot Jox, released November 21st of 1990.
We all remember where
I remember it well, yes. Directed by Stuart Gordon, the amazing Stuart Gordon. We'll talk about him more, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Screenplay by Hugo and Nebula award-winning author Joe Haldeman, author of The Forever War, Forever Peace, Mind Bridge. Amazing author. So surely that sci-fi talent will translate to the final product.
Absolutely.
Produced by Charles Band. So I saw this movie when it came out on video.
Yeah. I rented it from Blockbuster.
With my sister and her boyfriend at the time, and they didn't like it. And I pretended I didn't like it, but I kind of liked it, you know? Did you remember seeing it?
So I was over at my buddy Jason's, I'm not going to say his last name, but we were like 10 years old. His parents took us to Blockbuster, we rented this, and I have to say, different sentiment in their
Everyone
house.
in the room loved it?
Dude, yeah. Like, crash and burn.
Crash and
burn.
burn.
We were doing that.
Are we going to do that more than once?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. But yeah, totally remember it. Thought it was rad. Man,
yeah. So
sure.
Yeah, Robot Jox, if you can't guess, is like Pacific Rim, but you know, with stop motion animation, a mix of stop motion and miniatures work. So it's like somewhere between like Ray Harryhausen and Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like somewhere in between those two.
And it's actually pretty good for the most part. Like I will die on this hill. There were I rewatched it recently.
I rewatched it recently too.
Those mechs look pretty good.
Yeah, actually, I do. I love the special effects of the mechs.
Yes.
I will say, like the setting, like inside when they're like having conversation inside
the main character's apartment.
Yeah,
it's just literally an office with no windows. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is not a high budget picture.
No.
You know.
No. In fact, the production company
Empire, Empire went out of business because of how expensive this film was. Although it still wasn't that expensive.
Worth it.
And it was a theatrical release, but did not garner the attention that they anticipated.
It was ahead of its time. People weren't ready for the mecha combat yet. So just to set the scene for you a little bit, this takes place 50 years after a nuclear war, a worldwide nuclear apocalypse.
And there are only two remaining superpowers.
Yeah, the Confederacy
and and the market.
Yeah, the market. So let's just figure out, if you guys can tell, who are the good guys?
Selling goods that people need to live for a profit is good.
Yeah.
And sharing those same products, evil. So that's the starting point.
You might have to share a car with your neighbor. Imagine. Anyway.
That sounds awful, actually.
It really does.
It does.
Yeah, it's why we can't have nice things. So 50 years after a nuclear war, somehow, the United States ostensibly led market and the, at the time, in this movie, Soviet dominated Confederacy. Somehow those two countries lived. I guess we just nuked everybody else.
Something like that.
Okay.
And now war is outlawed.
No more war. It's illegal. It's
and everyone abides by that rule.
We respect it.
Because right now war is totally legal.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Especially if you have referees.
What we should do, we should start a new political party and outlaw war.
Yeah. Boo war! One-on-one mecha combat.
Yeah.
Japan world dominance. Automatic.
So yes, instead of war, we have one-on-one mecha combat. The way it should be.
The way it should. I mean, for real. These are giant mechs, like you said. Think Pacific Rim from the 90s. And yeah, all territorial disputes between the two hegemonies are settled in these one-on-one combat. And not only is there one robot versus one robot, it's man on man.
Yeah, they're piloted
Yeah.
by robot jocks.
Robot jocks
with an X.
X.
If you didn't know,
That's how you
I mean,
know.
you probably did if you clicked on this video, but it's got an X to make it.
Do you think I should make a thumbnail like jocks with CKS?
and like have all the comments
Spin.
would be like, "It's an X, dude."
At least you get some comments. If you think no, just kidding. So yeah, the year is vague. Technology is very futuristic for the 90s, which means that we had mechs, flying cars, but we also have phones that have antennas.
Yeah,
they still have antennas, and they have video calls.
And this game, or this,
but you got to pick up the phone to make a video.
This movie totally predicts the pandemic. Everybody.
Dude,
you go outside, you got to have that mask on.
I swear
you gotta
to
have
goodness,
it on.
I saw that and I made the joke to my wife, like, oh, it was filmed during COVID.
I know, right?
And then I saw another review, and that was like, they went there too.
Yeah,
I thought of it with independent thought.
So there is some like intelligence behind some of the script. I think
it's really actually pretty smart.
So I think some of what Joe Haldeman brought to the project made it into the final project. But Stuart Gordon also. So Stuart Gordon, amazing. Amazing director. I just working at Blockbuster in the 90s. If you watched a lot of stuff, you watched a lot of Stuart Gordon movies, and you probably had a fun. You've probably seen a Stuart Gordon movie, even if you don't know that you have. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. There you go.
There you go. You've all seen
it. Reanimator.
Yeah.
But anyway,
seen a movie with Jeffrey Combs in it? Like a 30% chance it was directed by Stuart Gordon.
Correct.
And Jeffrey Combs is in this movie.
Yeah, for like maybe
he's got a speaking part.
Maybe 45 seconds.
Yeah, but carries on the tradition.
He does speak.
Yeah.
But Stuart Gordon came from like experimental avant-garde theater. Did things like had a theater production where there were people in the audience who were part of the production, and the people in the production would go around and like verbally and physically abuse them. And like the whole point of it was like to wake these theater goers from their apathy,
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of sort of attitude towards entertainment carries over in a lot of Stuart Gordon's films.
Yeah.
Not so much in Robot Jocks, but definitely in Robot Jocks.
Yeah.
But you got the two different competing sort of artistic visions, I think, from Joe Haldeman and Stuart Gordon. And they've talked about it. Stuart Gordon sort of wanted to make more of a kids movie, and Joe Haldeman wanted to make more of an adult, serious sci-fi movie. And what we get is neither of those, but it's pretty fascinating.
It really is. So yeah, Robot Jocks. They are the national representative. You are your, or whatever these hegemonies are, champion, and everyone has to fight 10 fights in the arena to decide, who owns parts of the world. Siberia is decided in the first match, I think, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then Alaska is up for grabs.
I'm a little uncertain about some of the rules, because it seems like Alexander... We're going to probably spoil this film, but it doesn't matter.
This movie came out 43 years ago. If you haven't seen it yet...
Look, having it spoiled for you will not ruin it whatsoever.
No, you're not watching this movie.
Wait, we promise we will not reveal the identity of the spy.
Keep secrets in this business. Too many damn spies.
Okay, we're not revealing the identity.
There is a spy.
Now
you don't get to know.
Now you have to watch it to find out who the spy is.
Can you guess who the spy is?
But no, like in the beginning, Alexander, the Russian.
Yeah, he's the Confederacy champion.
Yeah, like kills the dude. Mech is knocked out, and all the refs are like, "Hey, don't kill him."
Can I get a ruling? You won, Alexander.
Yeah,
fight's over. Okay.
Yeah, and but like there are no repercussions for him.
It's it. It's fine.
Yeah,
no penalty. Just okay. Well, we killed one, and that was like the 9th loss in a row for the market.
Right.
So crash and burn, go Confederacy. But Dr. Matsumoto, who's the technology expert for the market, man, he just knows that the reason some of these weapons that they're creating aren't working, there's got to be a spy, somebody on the inside. And is he right? Oh wait, there is a spy.
Yes.
Yeah,
But so
But
then
you don't know who it is.
Then we meet our main man, Achilles.
Achilles!
The hero of the piece.
He really is. He's such a hero.
And he actually, I like the actor. I think he
Gary
does,
Graham.
Yeah.
Alien Nation. Most of you haven't seen Alien Nation.
I think he actually does a pretty good job with the material that he's given here.
You know, I really thought Gary Graham was in more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's just
And
not.
then you look up like the IMDb.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, it's just Alien Nation.
Robot Jocks was like the peak of his career.
Yeah,
No.
But I agree with you. He does a good job with what he's given here. He's a sincere actor.
A lot of the cast does like better than the material like calls for. I think. You know?
I couldn't name. Well, okay.
I think Athena does pretty good.
She does fine. She Anna Marie Simpson.
I wanted to learn the secret of the great Achilles. But you just talk about luck and fear. There's nothing you can teach me.
From In the Heat of the Night, another show that none of you have ever seen. Michael Aldridge, who I thought was in more things. He plays Tex.
He's actually in a lot, though.
Yeah,
like
he's in
a lot of stuff before this movie came out, not after this movie came out.
Bet you can't guess what Tex sounds like.
5 meters. We lost the advantage, boy. It's clobbering time.
He's exactly what you think someone named Tex would sound like.
And yes, he wears the hat.
He's like the trainer for
He's a famous former robot
for
jock.
the market. Yeah, he's a famous former robot jock, and like our main man Achilles, he's like his trainer, his coach,
mentor.
Soil is just dirt.
Yeah.
And he's coaching this new group of robot jocks who are
Gin jocks.
Tubies.
Oh no, you can't call them that. Oh, I'm sorry
because they're artificial, like grown humans. They're test tube kids.
Yeah, and they
call them Tubies.
And they never quite.
They're like Master Chief.
Importantly, to me, and hopefully to no one else, they never really talk about how old these Tubies are.
They're like 3 days old.
It seems they're pretty new.
Yeah,
they're full grown.
Yeah,
but they
just came out of the tube. They didn't come out. They're not test tube. They weren't babies. I don't think.
No.
They were just grown, fully adult.
Grown.
I don't know. They seem like they're like 18 or 19 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. And they all have the same haircut.
They do. The boys and the girls all have the same haircut, and
I think they were born with that haircut.
They are bred to be like ultimate warriors. This is all they want. And interesting note on the robot jocks, and I think apparently society in general, like Achilles is a member of the elite of the society, and he's illiterate. He can't read his own contract.
You can't even read your How do you know? I can't read, but I'm not dumb.
So
that's got to be from Joe Haldeman. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. So there's that market for you. As long as you know how to spend money, and in the market, like, hey, you want a 3-bedroom apartment? Sweet. Just have 6 kids?
Yeah,
7
the more
kids?
kids you have, like, yeah.
Did you notice that every piece of advertising that they show has a pregnant woman?
Yes.
In it?
Yeah. There's a lot of, and that's all got to be from Haldeman's script.
Oh yeah,
I would imagine.
And I'd say that it's roughly 20 years in our future.
Yes.
Yeah.
But back to Achilles, our main man.
Should we just never leave Achilles from now on?
He's in his last. He's
won 9.
He's in his 10th fight, and he fights, of course, our bad guy Alexander. All of the fights are pretty cool. Like, there's only 3, right?
Well, yeah.
But they're all pretty cool, actually.
The 3rd is pretty long.
Yes, the 3rd is very long. That's like
the
reason to watch the film. But disaster strikes in...
Achilles is winning the fight.
Yeah.
And Alexander, in a desperation move,
shoots
full spoilers.
Rocket fist.
Just fires it off, and it's not going to hit Achilles. Achilles can just go for finishing him off there, but that sorry sack of sad sack sap gut.
So there are giant robots fighting, and apparently they thought it was a good idea to have bleachers.
Yeah.
With people sitting in there cheering on guys in giant robots.
Which they do have laser shields. Like, shields can't hit the spectators somehow. But you know what can hit
Yeah, so our man Achilles trying to save all the people in the bleachers from rocket fists,
Rocket Fist
takes a rocket fist to the chest
of his mech.
Yeah. And falls down.
Smashes 300 people.
Yeah, exactly 300. No more, no less.
It's exactly how 300 people died. Like maybe that's the occupancy, and he got all of them.
You know, it's sad.
They literally refer to it as
it's pretty sad.
No words to describe the magnitude of this disaster, which I mocked. I was like, haha, ignorant 90s. They don't know what a real disaster is.
If that happened at an NFL game, they would probably like stop the game.
Yeah.
Probably. Not guaranteed.
Not guaranteed because only 300.
They might, you know, start the game up 2 days later. But, you know.
Yeah. But I think because this world doesn't, I think that newscaster was not being hyperbolic. Hyperbolic.
Good one, man.
Look at that. In his description of a magnitude beyond disaster of magnitude beyond.
Because there's no war.
There's no people left.
Yeah.
That's why they're pushing repopulation. So 300 people.
They got to wear masks all the time.
All the time. If you're in public outside your house.
Can you imagine how terrible that would be?
I could never live like that.
No, no.
I've got my freedom.
Resist.
As an American.
We're kidding.
Yeah. We're the commies. Anyway, so match postponed when Achilles.
But Achilles says that was my 10th match.
Yeah, but
I'm not fighting anymore.
Not much to talk about. We have a great deal to talk about. Let's start with violation of contract, shall we? You haven't finished 10 fights.
Started 10, that's enough. Don't bother to show me out, I know the way.
It isn't over until someone wins.
Officially, the referees, who, by the way, referees in this world are essentially gods because they get to make these decisions about how these matches turn out.
But they still wear like black and white
They
stripes.
do. Yeah. It's this 5-person panel with a flying car that like makes all the rules, and they decide the outcome of the fights. And think about that. They're the only people that can order these 2 remaining like nation states around. So they are God.
They do.
Who
have
appoints
a lot of
these
power.
referees? I hope it's not part-time. But really, what are they doing in between robots?
You just got to get like an associate's degree. We get to my favorite like setting in the film, which is the bar.
Crash and burn, baby.
Have you ever played Wing Commander?
Oh my God, you're right. It's the exact same
And
bar.
you know, like in Wing Commander, when you're like not doing a mission and you go to the bar and like all the other pilots
you got a
are like
simulator there.
Yeah. That is like where most of the like character development of this film takes place.
The Wing Commander
It's the bar and Wing Commander.
Yeah,
and they're like wearing uniforms that pretty much look like Wing Commander uniforms.
It's a jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Man, that is such a good
if
call.
you like Wing Commander, Wing
Commander. Yeah. A bar fight starts between Alexander and Achilles. Alexander's a really aggressive dude, and he wants a piece of Achilles. And Achilles is ducking him now.
But Achilles is all torn up about killing 300 people.
Yeah, that's why he's not involved.
300.
He's having some PTSD.
Just 300.
300.
Not 299.
Not 301.
300.
300 people, and like as soon as he pops out of his cockpit and he looks down at this disaster of the 300 people that have died.
He sees like a teddy bear.
Like colors changing. Yeah, you can really feel the turmoil. And he's got remorse, PTSD. He can't get back in that cockpit, man. He is done.
Understandably.
Yeah. And Alexander taunts him and like picks a fight in the bar.
And you really think that our man Achilles is going to go for it, but he doesn't.
He doesn't. And so the tubies are left wondering, who all kind of admire him.
Yeah.
Is Achilles a coward?
And bleacher bums, yeah. You would have just let him die? Of course I would have let him die. You too?
Of course.
Is that why he's not fighting anymore?
They don't understand that, you know, life has value because they're tubies.
Yeah.
They don't understand that.
They didn't have parents.
Achilles goes home and we learn a little bit more about the world for like 3.5 minutes of film time.
Yeah.
And then he's back.
Yeah.
It's that is probably my biggest problem with this film is like that Achilles leaves And then he's back.
Yeah.
Like
Big
5
training
minutes
facility.
later.
You know, this is his apartment. He's done. He's retired. He goes to
He
his
goes
brother
and
and sister.
visit his family and stuff, and that's when you kind of learn more about the sci-fi
Yeah.
world.
And they
and I wish
announced
there was
that
more of that.
while he's at his brother and sister's, they
Yeah.
announced that Athena, who is Anna Marie Simpson, the
His love interest, if you will.
which again, how old are
I know
these two?
he's in love with a 3-day-old
Yeah. I mean, but anyway, she is taking his
with
place.
a weird haircut.
She's gonna big time. She's gonna fight Alexander for Alaska. And
of course Achilles is, such a honorable man. He can't
Chivalry.
let a woman be hurt.
yeah, she would be hurt and
Yeah.
endangered.
Yeah.
And this is after he's given her like the scarf that like this is for good luck. Oh, we don't do good luck around here. Just say, but he's like,
they do not like. Oh, by the way,
it's a big 180.
to stop Athena, his girlfriend, well, not his girlfriend, a girl he's interested in, from fighting, he goes back. He's gonna fight Alexander again.
Yeah.
So,
which all the people in charge in the market are super happy.
and by the way, this film, like, we're making it. It's what we're talking about is probably longer than the actual film so far.
Yeah.
I'm only exaggerating a little bit. All of this stuff happens very, very quickly. It's like an 80-minute
You're not going to get
picture.
bored
in
this movie.
But when he gets back, he decides he's going to fight Alexander, and then he fights against Athena.
Yeah.
They have a rough and tumble
so she
in his
comes
awesome
to his apartment and she's like,
she's
what are you
knock him
doing,
out.
man? Oh, yeah. Like, this is the crazy part. Like, one of these two people is going to fight for Alaska, like the most important territory, and they beat the crap out of each other. She wins the fight, knocks him out. Well, after having given him some kind of tranquilizer, like the fight starts because she tranquilizes him in the neck.
Yeah.
And like, you're going to be asleep soon, bud. And so the fight starts. She crushes his sensitive areas, throws him through a table. He's done. She's like,
that
all right.
fight like really shows you the quality of the set design in his apartment.
Oh yeah, big time. When curtains get pulled off and you get to see a bare wall. Like, I guess they don't care much about windows, but honestly, in all sincerity, this fight, it's a brawl, man. It kind of reminds me of
but the Tubies
the glasses.
The Tubies are born to fight.
Well,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
but okay, help me out.
The glasses.
Yeah, sunglasses that you can see. They live.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like that fight between Rowdy Piper and like it's kind of similar. Yeah, dude. We can talk about if anyone comments about They Live, we're doing it. Even if you're saying don't do it. I love that movie. But yeah, so Athena wins the fight. Achilles is crashed on his awesome apartment floor. And so she's going to headquarters.
She puts on his robot jock pilot suit and then goes to get in the mech.
And how does she get discovered?
Yeah, she gets busted because we're not telling you everything that happened.
I'm going to tell you everything about this movie.
But
except for
there's a guy who always, pats
the pat on the
pats
butt.
Achilles on the bum when he's getting into his
collegial
as
demonstration
athletes
of
do. Yeah. And then the same guy goes to pat Achilles on the bum, and that's how Athena gets fined out. Hey, that's not Achilles.
Go get him, Commander.
Hey, this ain't Achilles.
And then, meanwhile, and some other stuff happened with the spy that we're not going to tell you about. This is one of my favorite things in the movie. How does Achilles? Oh, she locks him in his apartment.
Yeah, he's knocked
out.
There's no window.
But he knows that she's going to fight, and he's got to get out. How does he going to get out? So he has a flying car.
He does have a flying car.
And he gets out his gigantic
remote with
remote,
keypad,
and then flies his flying car into his apartment, and it through the wall, and then he gets in it and flies out to
no damage to the car
where they're fighting. Yeah. So, which is awesome.
Vehicle.
Yeah,
he is flying.
That's cinematic gold right there.
It really is. So at this point, at the headquarters, all of the market technicians and the people that are trying to are stop that guy, stop that imposter, he's trying to steal.
But then they find out it's Athena, and they're like, okay, go fight it.
But at the same time, no, because Professor Laplace, who was the inventor of the Tubies, she's like, you're throwing away all my work. You must stop.
Yeah.
Please, evacuate the robot. You're invalidating all of my work.
And like, but
eventually
Athena's
they're
just like,
okay.
I'm getting out of here, and so she literally just like knocks over the
She-
elevator and like just climbs out of this hole. She just gets out, like no protection.
I
Like
love
nobody
that,
has
the
ever
hand
thought.
coming up over the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
It's a great shot.
Yeah.
It is. So yeah, she gets up top, and the refs declare, two
It's
fighters
on.
on the it's on. 2 fighters on the battlefield. Go.
Your robot has taken the field. That constitutes a legal challenge.
Achilles is not in command of the robot. Our fighter is not in there.
Identity of the fighters is not our responsibility.
We protest. Achilles must be allowed to take command of the robot.
Identity of the fighters is not our responsibility. End of transmission.
Get it on. And
She's doing pretty well.
well, hold
to
on.
begin
I
with.
want to talk about Alexander and his panache for showmanship.
Yeah.
This man, by now, Achilles is in the control center and he's on the mic. And he said, you could see Alexander and his giant Confederation mechs are way cooler looking than Market.
Yeah, it's like a
You could see
spider
it from the
mech.
shoulders
Yeah.
up. And like, there's just all this smoke and steam. And Achilles says, oh, he's just hot dogging. He likes to enter on jetpack.
Yeah. He flies in.
Yeah. But when he comes and lands, you can see how many legs has he got in here?
Yeah. He's like a spider mech.
He's got 4 legs.
Straight out of Armored Core.
Yeah,
man.
straight out of
Great.
Armored Core. Like, thank you, FromSoft, for actually
For
converting
copying robot jocks.
Yeah,
More people
well
need
done.
to do it.
Excellent taste. And yeah, as you said, to her credit, Athena, she gets off to a pretty hot start.
Mhm.
She uses some secret weapons that were invented, but that the spy wasn't able to tell about. Oh yeah. Anyway,
But then,
I mean, how long is she winning that fight for? Like
right.
30
But
seconds.
then Alexander does his like hammer thing.
Oh,
right?
okay. Now I want to talk about that too. Okay, so he gets her on the ground, knocks her on the ground, which makes sense. And then he's got this pneumatic fist, which he's just in contact with her and like jostling her. He's not making contact or striking. It's just like shaking somebody.
But yeah, she's
But
she's
There
pretty
are
damaged.
sparks flying, and
Yeah.
she's loud.
Oh, this is a great, like, if you like, Star Trek when they
Oh, yeah.
shake around, when
Big
they're
time.
taking fire. There's a lot of that kind
We
of
didn't
stuff.
even talk about the shake room.
Oh
which
yeah, we
they-
did skip the shake room.
Which you want to talk about some crazy Star Trek, like, oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Well, we can leave that for them, right?
Yeah. We'll let you have the shake room.
Enjoy that shake room, y'all.
Yeah. Sargum.
But of course, who comes in to save the?
Fight.
It's Achilles.
Yeah, Achilles comes
Wait,
in his
no.
flying car.
Do they? Oh yeah. So
The refs come in and say
refs
she's
say-
unconscious.
yeah.
right?
Conscious. The battle is concluded.
Alexander,
He sees Achilles and he's like,
but he stomps on the ref's plane.
well,
right?
not at that.
Not at
skipping
that
ahead.
point.
But yeah, spoiler alert. Now here's a spoiler. Achilles is like, screw that. You didn't beat me. I'm going to get in this mech and I'm going to.
I'm gonna get in this thing, and I'm gonna kick your ass!
And Alexander's like, you know what? We're doing this. Get in that mech. And the rest are like, dude, no, this is all over. You won. If you don't stop your tomfoolery, Alexander, we're going to, declare this a forfeit for you.
Yeah.
And Alexander's like, what? I don't even. Spoosh.
Yeah. It's like the refs. They
These
might
are
be
gods.
powerful, but like he doesn't care what they say at all.
Who
you know?
stops a man in a mech?
I know, right? Nobody.
Not the refs in
Nobody.
the flying car. That's not who.
And then next we go to outer space.
Well, yeah. So, epic moment here. Alexander and Achilles facing off. Alexander's reaching up to smash Achilles, and Achilles' vehicle transforms, Autobot style, tilts up, and dude just shoots into freaking space.
And actually, the parts when they're flying in space look not bad.
Alexander
It actually-
pursues him into space,
Yeah.
and it looks just as good as is it Superman 2 where he circles the Earth?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but like the problem is, literally nothing happens.
nothing happens except
They-
for I
they-
just asked Neil what was the reason for them to go to space, because here's a spoiler: they literally take off, fly through space. You see them flying around the globe, and then they land exactly where they took off.
But while they're in space,
Here it is.
Alexander shoots Achilles in the heel. Achilles in the heel.
And that's just good writing, folks, right there. That's
and so
how you
then,
know.
when they're back on the ground, Achilles' mech can't walk bipedally, so it transforms into like a tank mech.
Yeah.
So then
treads on the backs of the legs, and he's shooting Alexander with cannons, and he's doing great.
So then, when you got one mech that's lower and another one still standing high, what kind of weapon could you possibly bring out at that point? So we've talked about this moment.
Yeah.
And I think the best word to use is crotch, right?
Yes.
So Alexander has a giant chainsaw come out of his crotch.
I personally
Stuart
prefer
Gordon.
chain phallus.
Okay,
but
yeah.
Crotch is pretty solid.
It's really hard to make this clean.
Yeah. The robot has a cod piece.
Family friendly.
That cod piece
YouTube
opens and a gigantic chainsaw comes out of there.
And he starts like chainsawing.
Well, and I want to point out that you forgot that the way that Alexander deals with Achilles' found mobility is he literally reaches down and like just tilts him over.
Oh yeah.
Like just tips him over. That's it. Oh, you're on your side now.
So many details to remember in this film. It's a richly detailed film. I can't forget a moment. It's so beautiful. But yeah, so the chain phallus is just sawing into the cockpit of the market mech. And Achilles has to bail. He's out of there. Fight's over now, right? But he finds it comes back.
Yep.
The rocket fist.
Call back. There you go. Good writing again.
The rocket fist, which was it was launched earlier in the fight, probably with Athena, right?
Yeah, she severs it.
Oh yeah, she cuts it off.
Yeah.
Use the ball saw!
But then our man Achilles literally pulls out the wires and he's hot wiring the rocket fist.
And it works.
Yeah, and it knocks over.
It goes straight at Alexander.
You think that's the end of the fight.
Well, it doesn't knock him over. It straight blows up Alexander's neck. Like this dude, we've established that getting hit in the chest with this thing, I fell on exactly 300 people. When it hits Alexander's neck, his neck blows up. The whole thing's gone. You think he's dead. It's over.
But it's not over.
It isn't over yet.
So then they go.
They're on the ground.
Hand-to-hand combat. Well,
using debris. They've got spears and
so
poles.
It's these two guys in the wreckage of two giant men. It's very anime.
Oh yeah.
And you think
fire and debris.
Yeah, they got metal rebar.
You can see
poles.
a semi exhaust. Laying on the ground. No tires.
But then you think what's going to happen is something.
These guys are going to fight to the death.
Something is going to happen. One of them is going to die. But what happens? Zac?
We can live.
Yeah.
Achilles points out to Alexander. We can live.
We can live.
And that pretty much does it.
Yeah, that's the end of the movie. They go like this. And they have composite wires coming out of their gloves right there. And that's the end shot.
And that's it.
That's pretty beautiful.
And it is.
You know what I mean?
We can live. Why are we fighting?
It's pretty wonderful.
Yeah. This bloodthirsty maniac, Alexander, who we've seen has a propensity to just murder everyone that he can get away with.
Yeah.
Which is basically everybody.
He just needed Achilles to,
Achilles throws away his weapon and says...
Achilles has a big heart,
We can live.
Yeah.
We can live. And yeah, that's it.
And by the way, the greeting and the robot jocks have a thing where they go like that and they say... Crash and burn.
Coming off, Commander.
Little pieces, Wayne.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
If you didn't know.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, is it a great film?
No. It didn't win any Oscars. It did have a theatrical release.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
It's entertaining.
Working at Blockbuster Video
It builds up a tolerance
in the
for it, or maybe an appreciation.
mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of stuff like this and grew to really like it. I mean, if you watched, movies on cable late at night in the 80s and 90s,
maybe accidentally seen this movie.
If you haven't seen this movie, you've seen lots of movies like this movie. And I do think that Stuart Gordon does bring, I really like how crisp and fast it goes. Doesn't linger on anything too long.
No time wasted, but you get the information you need.
Yeah, there's not too many bad scenes. I mean, there are some bad scenes, but not too many.
Yeah.
But they go by so quickly that it's tolerable.
And I don't even remember the bad scenes because they were inconsequential.
Yeah, and the work put into the special effects is actually really good. So,
two things real quick. At the beginning of the movie, within the first 5 minutes, see if you can guess who the spy is. Come back and tell us if you got it right. And then question 2, did the spy plotline have any impact on the movie at all, on the story of the movie? Did it actually need to be there? I think your point of it needed to be a movie. So, yeah.
And I have to say, the score for the film is actually quite good. It's really good. And the way it starts, so that pan across the battlefield. So that
is cool. That is a great opening.
There's some really cool things
the space
about the
shot,
film.
Every mech fight. The shake room is pretty entertaining, although,
And it's on YouTube.
Achilles. Yeah, you can watch this.
If you can watch this, you can watch Robot Jocks right now.
Go do it.
All right. Thank you guys for watching Tweed Up, and we will see you next time. Peace out.
Peace.